with us last week or the week before, you'll know that I'm Matthew Woodget from Go Narrative, and every Friday I pick a company and I tear down their homepage to find out exactly where the story breaks. Today, Witness AI, Security and Governance, Fortune Cyber 60, IDC, Innovators in the House. A headline that opens with one word: certainty. I'm looking for one thing. Where does this page make a promise that the rest of it can't keep? Let's go. Here we go. Your company is running AI tools that nobody approved, it on servers nobody audited, with data nobody cleared. Not because you're careless, but because AI moved faster than any governance system was built to handle. You didn't lose control. You never had it. That's the problem that Witness AI is trying to solve. And their homepage opens with the right word for it: certainty. Approach AI with certainty. 4 words. Real bet. That's a promise. I love it. Some of the teardowns we do, I don't love it so much, but I love that. It's also a decision leak. Not in the headline, but what happens after. The headline is good. The leak comes next. The promise gets made at the top of the page and then appealed in every paragraph that follows. And a promise that gets walked back isn't a position, it's a liability. Where does this page make a promise that the rest of it can't keep? Well, let's have a look, shall we? We've got the hero, okay? Approach AI with certainty. It's a stake in the ground. Boom, love a good stake in the ground. Then, literally the next sentence: enable AI innovation without sacrificing security or control. Enable AI innovation without sacrificing security or control. Can you see what the problem is? That's not certainty. That's a trade-off. Without sacrificing introduces doubt. It's telling you something might be lost. It's the opposite of certain. They made a promise and broke it. Literally on the next line. Oh, guys, gals, what are you doing? The page title, it's another thing. It's the little chappy up the top. You know, the thing that shows up in every tab that Google indexes. It shows up first on the link in the AI search results. Unified, let's pull it up so we can see the whole thing. Unified AI security and governance platform. Unified, one thing. Then you open the nav and we've got Witness AI for applications, Witness AI for employees, Witness AI for developers, Witness AI for compliance. 4 separate buyer journeys, if I'm not mistaken, 4 separate buyers, potentially 4 separate committees of buyers in just one company, one customer, one prospect. 4 separate companies living in one nav. I mean, those are different end users, developers. That's not unified. It's a verdict getting appealed before the ink has even dried. This is what a verdict that gets appealed in every paragraph looks like. Certainty at the top, boom, and then the body copy relitigates it. We keep going down here. We've got threats, we've got ICPs, compliance gaps, jailbreaks, prompt injections, shadow agents. As I go down this page, I'm feeling less and less certain. You can't promise certainty and then catalog every way things can go wrong. People are going to walk out confused. They're going to walk out feeling less certain. And I know what you'd be saying to me from Witness AI in the room right now. You say, Matthew, well, that we help with all of that. Problem is that I'm reading a website as a potential buyer and I'm feeling less and less certain. I'm feeling more and more freaked out. And remember, there's more than one company in this category. And as the age-old adage goes, you don't have to be the fastest in the tribe to outrun the lion. You just have to be the faster than the slowest. And if you're the slowest, somebody comes in is a little bit better at the CISO remembering what their company does, they are going to win. So if we go back up to the headline, the fix isn't a new headline. The headline is the best thing on this page. The fix is enforcing the decision the headline already made. A positioning word is a promise. If the word is certainty, everything after it has to land on certainty. All roads need to lead to certainty, not in features, not in threat taxonomies, not in 4 separate buyer journeys. The moment you enumerate every possible thing that can go wrong, you've broken the promise you made in the first 4 words. Remember, if you never had control to begin with, certainty is exactly the right word to sell here. But you have to hold it. The whole page has to hold it, because then the person experiencing the page walks away from it and they hold it and they know what you believe in. Not just your belief being relegated to a nice headline that they maybe do or don't remember because they've then, the rest of the page has relitigated everything. I got a couple questions. Number one, let's go back to our CISO friend that we were talking about. If they spent 10 minutes on the homepage and then walked into a board meeting tomorrow, what one sentence would they use to describe what Witness AI does? Does that one sentence contain the positioning word? If it doesn't, the headline's not working and the promise didn't travel. Remember, it's got to travel from the CISO to the rest of their team, or the CISO's delegate back to the CISO and then to the rest of the team. Question number 2, what is the one positioning word your product team, your sales team, and your marketing team would all give the same answer to? I'm not even going to get into HR, but the rest of the organization does matter. If they give different words, you have the same leak that Witness AI has. The decision got made somewhere, it just didn't hold, right? If you can feel the gap between those 2 answers, and they're related, that is your decision leak. So we opened with, you didn't lose control, you never had it in the first place, and Witness AI is trying to solve that exact problem. They opened with the right word, certainty, promise. But the rest of the page didn't keep it. 4 ACPs and then now the subhead that introduces doubt, a threat catalog that catalogs everything that could go wrong, and every paragraph appeals the verdict that the headline already delivered. And I know what it's like. You got everybody in the room and they're raising their hands and saying, well, we've heard this stuff from our customers and the customer surveys and the customer satisfaction. And we know there's, Gartner have said that these threats are coming and we need to do this thing. And we need to make sure that that's included. And somebody else's hand goes up and says, well, we've been finding out that one of the main problems that people have had when using the product is this thing, we added this new capability. And then another hand goes up and another hand goes up and another hand goes up. And before you know it, if you haven't got the authority in the story you're trying to make in this world, tell in this world, if you do not have that narrative pinned down, then you're not going to be able to hold the line on what gets in and what doesn't get in. So you might have a nice positioning word, but if that positioning word isn't rooted in that story that you're trying to make in this world and tell in this world, you are going to be in a similar situation to what Witness AI are in. So, where on our page is a promise made that the rest of it doesn't keep? In this case, everywhere apart from the first 4 words. If you see this in your company, book a narrative diagnostic, gonarrative.com. And I do love you to include your URL so that we can see your website, because I am an absolute junkie for seeing this stuff in action, and I'm excited to see how we can help you with your decision leak. So I'm going to stop here. We'll check the Q&A in a second. But the free win that you have today is now you can see where the promise broke and how that could be breaking on your website. Righty-ho, let's have a look at the Q&A, shall we? Look at the questions and the chat. Okay, so the headline is good, but everything after it walks it back. Isn't that a content problem? Okay, so you're saying you're repeating what I said, okay. And the question, isn't that a content problem, not a narrative problem? Couldn't a copywriter fix this? Ooh, I love the copywriter questioning. Copywriters got to work with something. They can improve the words, but they can't make the strategic decision that the page is avoiding. This page is avoiding in this case. Who is it for? What does the company promise? Why does the company exist? How is this company special? How is it different? And what gets cut? In all good crafting, copywriting being that, something gets cut. Whether it's copywriting, movies, books, music, or even clay or stone. It's literally the Michelangelo removing stone to reveal David from within the marble. What gets cut? You need to be able to do that. That decision comes from leadership. It comes from that authority in the narrative that we talked about. And the real problem isn't phrasing. The real problem is belief. The real problem is a lack of authority holding the story in place. And you have to do the due diligence to define what that is based on the story that you're trying to make in the world with your company. So great question. I'm going to have a look at these other ones here. Ooh, I like that. Enterprise security buyers, threatless. Okay, so we'll definitely do that one. Ooh, workshop one. Love those ones. Love workshops, the right type of workshops. And okay, there's a nice practical one there at the end as well. Okay, so let's see. You said the certainty promise breaks the moment you list what can go wrong, but enterprise security buyers need to know the threat list. How do you lead with certainty and still give them what they need? You lead with the promise first, my friends. You lead with the promise first. Then you use the list. And it doesn't have to be on the homepage. The beauty of web pages is you can have navigation and you can have stuff linked off. You giving them what they need isn't about giving them everything. It'd be analogy here would be, think of the best meal you have ever had. Maybe it was in a restaurant. Maybe there was multiple courses. Maybe it was by some amazing chef, or even maybe it was a family member and it was a holiday and there was appetizers, and then there was a delicious meal with all of the stuff, all the different trimmings, and a delicious dessert, maybe more than one dessert, and maybe even after the meal there was like some cheese or some fruit or something like that, or all of those things. You don't need all of that to enjoy the meal. You might not be taking the cranberry sauce. You might not be taking the stuffing. You might love the stuffing. You might love the cranberry sauce. But if you try and give everybody everything all at once, as soon as they walk in the door, it's going to be disgusting. What are you going to do? Put it in a blender and blend it all together? Here's all the food. And the same applies for information, let alone the fact that we are drowning in information. We got to know what things we want to move forwards on and what things we don't want to move forwards on. And if you try and jam everything down their throat on the webpage, it's going to get messy. People are going to get sick. I tell you, they're going to get sick. So take it easy with that. But that's the difference. And once the buyer understands what you stand for, once they can repeat it to other people, then the conversation continues, right? You start to build it out. That's why we talk about customer journeys. It's not customer destinations. It's why we are thoughtful in what that journey looks like. Great. Okay, so let's see. Another couple questions. What have we got next here? The workshop one. Yes. How do you know when a positioning word is a real bet versus just a word somebody liked in a workshop? The one that made it to the top of the whiteboard or the sticky notes. How do you tell the difference from the outside? It's kind of two questions. I think another way of asking that question could be using the word we saw with Witness AI, right? Remember that with certainty that we saw up here, certainty, like that's the word we've been talking about. We might be thinking, yeah, it's a good word, Matthew. I agree with the word. How do I know that is a real, like that's meaningful and wasn't just this thing that came out of the workshop? Well, a real positioning word forces the rest of the page to change. It's a red thread, it's a guardrail, it's a purity test. If you can swap it out and nothing downstream moves or changes or it still makes sense, then that word isn't doing strategic work. And you will see that. We've seen a lot of those on these teardowns. In this case, great word that makes sense for the category. A true bet, not just was popular on the day of the workshop, but a true bet creates obligation. It cuts, hurts, creates discomfort because some things no longer fit. All those hands that go up in the room, we've got to say this, we've got to say this, we've got to say this. Like, no. Witness AI, for example, we are about certainty. We approach AI with certainty. And therefore, if you want that thing you put your hand up for on the website, show me how that accrues, supports, results in certainty. Because I'll tell you, when I'm speaking like as a CMO, as a CEO right now, as a founder, I'm role playing Witness AI. And I tell you, as the founder of Witness AI, this word isn't just a word. This is a belief. This is something that we see and embrace as being an important, no, a vital part of how AI needs to be approached with certainty. It's what we stand for. And so if we're going to include something on in a place as valuable as our website or a keynote that I am giving at an event, it has to support certainty. And you'll see if you go to many web pages, you'll read the words and there'll be platitudes, and you'll think to yourself, this doesn't do that. And that's another benefit you have from attending today. So thank you for joining, and thank yourself for joining. Pat on the back, because now you will be able to spot that. Okay, time for one more question. Oh, good for you. Okay, I can see this on the Witness AI page, and I'm pretty sure I see it on mine. Where do I start? The headline, the nav, or somewhere else? Start by reading just the headline to 3 people. I love to say product sales and marketing, one of the leaders in your organization, and ask them what the company stands for. You could even do it cold. Just go and ask them, what does the company stand for? See what they say. You, as a leader, could do this subtly over a period of days. Take copious notes, see what people are saying. And then you could read them the homepage headline and then ask them as well. And if their answers don't match the headline, the leak is between the promise that you're making at that top level, right? And what the rest of the page is teaching them. Because I guarantee you, my friends, what's on that webpage is what your company is talking about. Been in this game long enough, seen enough web pages, worked in corporate America. One of my best buds actually used to run the Microsoft.com website. I remember Web 1.0. I remember when it was all the way back to all the way to today. And the number of things that get put on this website, and any website, are the number of things you're trying to communicate as a company. And you will see that the companies that win, the companies that rise to the top, are the ones that actually say less. They earn permission to share more as that journey continues. So thank you. Thank you for joining today, for joining us on this step of the journey. And remember, you can go ahead and you can go to gonarrative.com and click on the top right button on gonarrative.com. That will take you to the meeting, book a meeting, and that will be a narrative diagnostic. And you are going to send me your website when you book that, so I can check out your website and we can have a conversation about your website, and we can identify where that leaks are happening for you and see what that could be costing you. Apart from that, all that remains for me to say is have a great rest of your day, great weekend, and go out there and see if you can see what people are really trying to say. Thank you so much.